the expulsion of the following persons from the People's Democratic Party for His Excellency Wike, His Excellency Ayo Fayoshe, Senator Samuel Anyanwu, Honorable Umar Batur, Adeyemi Ajibade, SAN, Muhammad Abdurrahman, Senator Mao Ohabua, Honorable Austin Wachuku, Abraham George Turner, and Chief Dan Obi. Regards and respect the eyes of the public on account of despicable conduct of the former governor of Rivers State and these men he recruited to help him destroy the party, contrary to Articles 58, subsection 1, subsection B, and subsection I of our Constitution. I, Chief Olabode George, hereby move that this convention should expel this person so mentioned above from the People's Democratic Party. I so move.
And now, hard facts on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Welcome back. It's still Hard Facts, 92.3 Nigeria Info. Sam Chinedu here. You just heard the words and the voice of PDP chieftain Bode George expelling Wike and others. I still have Mr. Ige on the phone. You're welcome once again, sir.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Okay, now, Mr. Ige, there are a few terms used to describe the situation we have on our hands. The first, sub judice, under judicial consideration and therefore prohibited from public discussion elsewhere, meaning that the matter is already pending before another court and therefore cannot be heard or decided on public platforms or a different court at the same time. Also, there is a thing called abuse of court processes when the same matter is filed in multiple courts. And then, of course, there's lack of jurisdiction. If these terms legally exist, which means they can be enforced, then there is no excuse that a judge does not know what is already in another court. Because if he's going to rely on somebody telling him, a person who has interest in that case might conveniently refuse to alert him to that development. Do you see where I'm going, Mr. Ige?
I know where you're going to.
So, there has been advocacy, even by lawyers, that there should be digitization of the system where we can key in defendants, plaintiffs, parties in dispute, and everything connected to it. And it will tell whoever needs information, a judge or whoever, what case is currently before what court in Nigeria on this particular matter, informing him as to how to proceed.
Okay. Are you done?
Yes.
That is not the business of the judge. Let's even assume and concede that we have digitalized court processes in Nigeria. So Olalekan comes without a judge in Jigawa State. You understand? And I'm saying, look, I want to restrain Chinedu Oracle from parading as Chinedu Oracle. I take the court to a court in Jigawa. Then I run to Osun State and I meet another judge. I say, look, if Sam Chinedu Oracle, I don't like the way he walks around in Port Harcourt. Please, I need an order, an expert order to stop him from even walking the streets of Port Harcourt for the next 1 week. It is not the business of the judge in Osun to go to the digital space and click, does Olalekan have a case against Sam Chinedu Oracle in Nigeria? That is not the business of the judge. It is the business of the defendant, which is you now, just in case you are represented in court, to draw the attention of the judge to say, my lord, Olalekan has a similar case in Jigawa. Can you please, for record purposes, check the digital space and see whether Olalekan actually has a case in Jigawa or not? Somebody must draw the attention of the judge to that. It is upon that the judge cannot maybe take a short adjournment and say, look, Mr. ABC or Barrister ABC says something that is tangible and is fundamental to this case. can I please check whether what he's saying is the truth or not? Only then can the judge do a background check and find out.
Okay.
Otherwise, as far as I'm concerned, and for what I know, it is not the business of the judge to be looking for whether I have a case anywhere in Nigeria.
Mr. Ige.
What if I even have a case in Chigawa, and the case I have against you, Sam, is that, look, you stole my money. Please look for Sam for me. What if the case I have against you in Osun is that you converted my personal property to your own property? Okay, so I'm in court against you in two different places, but the cases are not similar. So it's difficult. So if you say Justice Livu gave a judgment in Abuja and another judge is giving another judgment in Oyo State, what if the two cases are not the same? The defendants are the same, the plaintiffs are the same, but the cases are not the same. How do you argue that?
Mr. Ige.
Only a court of hold on. Only a court of law can determine that. It is not your responsibility to say it is an abuse of court process. No. It is the responsibility of the judge to so give a judge. You cannot be determining for the court when the court has not determined. You see where there's a drawback now. You are the one alluding to abuse of court process. Is there a pronouncement of court to say it is an abuse of court process? Do you have any judgment to that effect?
Okay. So the problem with this is, first of all, there are high courts in every state of the country. So the available options are just beyond the scope of what anybody would want to restrict. Secondly,
Can you hold on? Two courts of coordinate jurisdiction. When you say coordinate now, that means two courts that are equal have given judgment. Now we are struggling to know which one should take precedence. That's what we are struggling to know. Only a court of law can now tell us now which one supersedes each other, or which one is even okay, or which one is not okay. Only an appeal court can now give this judgment now. Finish. There's nothing else to argue.
I understand. You know, you are speaking to the reality on ground, which is the existing system we have. I'm speaking to how I think it should be.
No.
Because...
Unfortunately, no, Chinedu, hold on. You do not have the right to choose how it should be. That is not your responsibility. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You can only form your opinion. Only a competent court of jurisdiction can answer this question you are giving, Sam. You are not allowed to have, because for you to have an opinion is that you are telling the court this is like a fait accompli. You are handing the fait accompli over to the court. And the court will not listen to you.
Okay.
Or with your argument. Strengthen it. Then court might say this thing with your argument. Otherwise, it is a matter of law.
Okay, let me ask, right? And I want to use the same situation that you painted.
Yes.
Somebody goes to a court asking it to restrict my movement, right?
Yes.
So let's work with that. Now, let's imagine that the judge cannot restrict my movement. Maybe because I have some kind of immunity.
Yes.
Right? Now, you're telling me that if the judge is not informed of his inability to enforce that based on the immunity I have, he will go ahead and do it unless somebody alerts him that there is no system on ground that will tell him, sir, you will not be able to do this because there is something that exists on that person that does not allow them.
Okay, so let me quickly answer you.
Yes, please.
When David Umai decamped from PDP to APC as the then governor of Ebonyi State, I'm sure you are aware that a judge gave a verdict and said that Umai has lost his seat for defecting from PDP to APC. Even when all of us knew that in the Constitution, the governor, only three things can remove the governor from office. And it's clear in the Constitution, either he resigns, he dies in office, or he is impeached. Those are the only three conditions that can make a governor lose his seat. But a judge gave judgment that Umai had lost his seat for the campaign.
Oh my.
Only a court of law can tell you for certain what is the exact way things should be done. You cannot leave to guesses. Oh, otherwise you'll be promoting a lawless society. That's why only the court will give that verdict. No matter your strength of argument, it must end in court, and the court will be the final arbiter. It can go all the way to the Supreme Court.
Well, I dare say we do need judicial reforms because we can't continue like this.
But no, Sam, remember what I said in my opening statement. I said if democracy comes to an end in Nigeria, judiciary will probably occupy at least 45% of the problem of democracy in Nigeria. And I did say earlier that how do political parties get judgment almost immediately they run to court? They should bother all Nigerians. When there are several matters, I told you that I was in court for a matter recently, and the judge adjourned the matter to April next year. I said that look, he had no other date. That the earlier date you can give is in April next year. But we have political parties who approach court on Monday and by Friday. They are already getting judgment. Something must be amiss.
Yeah.
As I said, if we end democracy in Nigeria, judiciary will take 45%, politicians will take another 45%. The balance of the 10% maybe for Nigerians who have been too far.
Okay. Well, I'll make this a two-part question so you can answer quickly as I take calls. What do you see as the implication of Wike's suspension? That's the first question. And secondly, with this problem... Expulsion, rather. Apologies.
Yes.
Expulsion. The second question, with this problem happening in the PDP, does this now justify the position of the governors who decided to defect? Those are my questions.
Okay, let me answer the second one. The problem in PDP is self-inflicted for personal reasons. That is the pure answer to that. Self-inflicted injury for personal reasons. Then the first one you answered, the expulsion of Wike will it hold. What does PDP constitution say about expelling a member of the party? That should have been done at the ward level. That is my understanding. I may be wrong, but I think it's at the ward level you can actually remove somebody from the party. So meaning that Wike's expulsion should have happened at his ward level in Rivers State. Now, there's a certain aspect of PDP constitution that says how a member of NEC can be removed. That's member of the National Executive Council of PDP and a member of National Working Committee of PDP. So I'm dragging the case now, extending it to that of Sam Chinedu, who is the secretary of the party, Senator Mawa Oabunwa, who is a member of the party. I think those people should have been expelled at their ward level, not necessarily at the convention of the People's Democratic Party. The only people that you can ratify their expulsion at the convention of the party should not have been National Working Committee members. So you expect that litigation will come out of this. Does the PDP have the right to expel these people, or the expulsion was it done in the right manner? I'm sure in the coming days there will be litigation where people head to court to challenge their expulsion, from the PDP. All of what we are seeing is just ahead of 2027 general election. That's what this whole problem is all about.
All right.
I'm sure you're aware that it's rumored that Governor for your state, Seyi Makinde, wants to contest for presidential elections in 2027.
Yeah.
So all of these are driving towards, an agenda to decapitate the party, so that the party is not even in a position to present any candidate for 2027. Remember that in your correspondences with INEC, it must be signed by both the chairman and the secretary of the party. So as of today now, what's the chair? From the convention in Ibadan, or the Damago that was removed in Abuja, and another person brought in to be the chairman. So you can begin to understand what is going on.
Okay. Well, there's fire on the mountain for the PDP. It seems it will not be put out anytime soon. Thank you, Mr. Ige, for your time.
As it is now, PDP is not even in a position to present any candidate for any election until they settle their matters in court. Because who sends the correspondence to INEC? The electoral act is clear. It must be signed by both chairman and the secretary of the party. And once we can get them to get to court, maybe go as far as Supreme Court, to quickly settle their matter. The convention in Ibadan, is it legitimate? If it is not legitimate, who is the current chairman of PDP? The people who removed them, Damagun, do they have the power to remove Damagun? Remember Lamido, former governor of Jigawa State, is in court with PDP that he was excluded from purchasing the form of the party. I'm sure you remember what happened to APC in Rivers State when some people excluded from buying form. You know what was the end result? So you see that Lamido is still waiting on the wings.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Exactly. So you understand that the PDP is not about fire on the mountain. Is that the house is burning already? How do they get is it international fire service that let them quench it, or the federal fire service or PDP fire service to quench the raging inferno inside their building?
Okay. It's safe to say the PDP at this time is a political party of particular concern. Thank you, Mr. Ige, for your time. It's always wonderful doing this with you. Have yourself a wonderful day, sir.
Thank you so much.
All right. There's no better way to put it. There's trouble for the PDP. Lots of trouble. And it might cost them a 2027 ticket. Almost certainly. 08179230002. 08179230003. Take that slower. 08179230002 and 0003. What's your take on the latest development from the People's Democratic Party? What is your take on the expulsion of the FCT minister from the PDP? Too many things happening, so many reactions that follow, and the ripple effect is to devastating dimensions. Gift calls from Yenogua. Hello, Gift. Good evening. Hello, Gift. Are you there?
Good evening, my brother.
Good evening.
Yeah, Sam Chinedu, truth of the matter, I just listened to my brother Olalekan. It is very well. I don't want to mention faction. The very camp of Wike where I belong. But the funny thing here, these guys are jokers. A competent court of jurisdiction gave a judgment of about 67 pages. And you are aware, let me just tell Olalekan, people went to that Oyo State High Court to inform that judge. The man still refused. That is the information on ground, live and direct. The man refused. So they have even petitioned him to NJC. So we are waiting for that aspect of NJC to deal with him. Because you cannot tell me you want to pretend as if you don't know what is going on. People went to your court to inform you. You don't even have the jurisdiction in the first place, because let's go back to what happened in Rivers State. What the state high courts were doing concerning PDP matters and ENEC, what the appeal court and Supreme Court eventually told that very court of state. They don't have. So nobody should tell me court of competent jurisdiction coordinate. What is the meaning of all those things? They are just joking. But the truth of the matter, these guys will regret their actions. Tomorrow, the meeting will take place at the National Secretariat. I want that very man, the son, to go to that very secretariat as the newly elected, sworn in PDP national chairman.
All right.
So that we know who is on ground.
Thank you very much, Gift. Cookie Gam calls from Mile 3. Hello, Cookie Gam. Good evening.
I want to say two things this evening. PDP problem is that PDP carried luggage, they carry a luggage, big luggage in their boats. And that luggage has made the ship to sink. Two again, they have also transferred that luggage to APC now. As a member of APC, if APC is not aware of themselves, tell them also to seek APC. This cause problem. That happened to PDP last time. Now, if you talk about PDP, APC very soon, because they carry big luggage. Political party is a window that tries to along. Don't carry everybody to your party. The party will sing. That was what thinking PDP. Now APC also carry the same load. APC will soon sing against me. I'm trying to let APC hear me as a member of APC. Now in the parliament of APC will soon sing.
It will not sink. It won't sink. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. It will not sink. It will do better. Gospel from HA. Good evening.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Suspending. Most of them will not hold water. What that means? Court of equal jurisdiction, despite federal and state, conflicting order coming from the same purpose. How will you hold water? And before you suspend Wike, there are processes. Not when you go to radio, you just say I have suspended. You don't follow from the word and other processes. You know water. Let them talk of another day. It can work. Because Wike is PDP is Wike. You do that party. You say you can suspend him just halfway. I don't think it will work. Let them for solution to their problem, not by court order and suspension or no suspension. That is not the solution to the problem they're having. Let them put their hands on that. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, God's power. Greetings, Oracle. PDP expels Wike, Fayose, Anyanwu, and 8 others for anti-party activities. It is a welcome development, although it took too long. My 2 cents. Minima. Terminal Priye says. Son says, why is it only PDP? The law holds. Sam, you're in River State to make a BK judgment as authentic chairman, but yet the National has a final say and nobody challenged it. Okay. PDP set for legal football Champions League. That's interesting. And Dota calls from Gokana. Good evening, Dota.
Sam, good evening to you, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, I want to look at expulsion, whether suspension or expulsion. I don't know. Have they been to the world to know that the world chairman is there waiting? If you have seen the world chairman, why are you talking about the minister? Please, if you see them, help me and tell them that he has a world chairman that is supposed to do that job for them. So if they didn't see him, they should just relax. You know, if you're talking about INEC, it's far off the show. They should just go and look for the world chairman of the minister, first and foremost, before they continue. Madam Dota, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you very much, Madam Dota. One thing is certain. This is just the beginning. There's going to be a meeting tomorrow, and the result of that meeting will also lead to more conversations, controversies, and we will talk about it. 1, it's politics. 2, it's the PDP. And I dare say there will be controversial decisions. But I think it is, as we like to say, visible to the blind and audible to the deaf, that the PDP just might miss a shot at 2027. Just like the Super Eagles, the PDP might not be a part of the next World Cup. And, you know, it's happening right before our eyes, right? It's not something that happens suddenly. It's that pain you feel when you take a loved one to the hospital for an emergency. And because of negligence, the nurses are too slow. You literally see your relative slowly dying before your eyes. They are losing blood. They are losing life. And you're screaming, nurse, please do something. You feel that with the time you have, you can make a difference. But life is slowly seeping away until they eventually die. That's what's happening. With every passing day, the PDP is losing its shot at 2027. Good day, Sam. Wike's expulsion is long overdue. Judiciary is the problem. I'll just leave it there. Onyinyechi Ejiofor from Mile 3. This is as far as I can go. Stay with us.